All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema One from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And today I want to go into a lesson. Really, I was meditating about, or I was listening to the audio book of the book of Exodus, and really just thinking about the parallels in the deliverance that's prophesied to happen in America, compared to how the deliverance was in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. More so leaning on the divine intervention part, whenever there was nothing that the oppressed, which were us, the Israelites, there was nothing that we could do. Whenever Egypt was getting hit with plagues, the nation of Israel was still in the Egyptian captivity. And just like today, we're in the American captivity, the Edomite captivity. But this place is going to get plagued, like it says in the scriptures. Is the Lord is going to bring plagues upon this place, just like he did in ancient Egypt. All right, and mind you, our oppressors know that. All right, Pharaoh, he heard it from Moses. He didn't believe in it. He didn't believe in what Moses told him. His heart was made stubborn. Hardened. The Lord stiffened his heart, his mind, where he continued to oppress, continued to do his will. All right, until the Lord brought him all the way down, making him an example that we still use to this very day. And Esau or / America is next up in line for that type of judgment. All right, so I was just meditating on that a little bit from listening to it this morning. So I pray this lesson be edifying to the Lord's elect. Let's start with this. Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 14. Let me go to my Bible. Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 14. It reads, "Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north," which is speaking about North America. It says, "And from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers." And understanding how mighty and how powerful of a deliverance it was during the time of Moses. All right, it says you can't even compare it to that. You're no longer gonna bring it up, in consideration or in discussion, because what the Lord is gonna do in this time is gonna be, it's just gonna be on a greater magnitude of the Lord's glory being shown. All right, because this is the last time that the nation of Israel will have to be delivered from the hand of their enemies. All right, this one's going to be different. All right, hold up real quick. So let's just get some precepts. I'm trying to find something real quick in Exodus. Hold up. Exodus chapter 9. Let me go to the NLT. Exodus chapter 9 and verse 14. This is Exodus chapter 9 and verse 14. It reads, "If you don't," I'll start at 13. It says, "Then the Lord said to Moses, get up early in the morning," going into the plague of hail, "get up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Tell him, this is what the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the God of the Hebrews, says. let my people go so they can worship me. And this is in the NLT if I didn't say that. It says, if you don't, I will send more plagues on you and your officials and your people. Then you will know that there is no one like me in all the earth. And just hitting a few points. You know, it starts with, put it like this. The reason for judgment to come to America like it is, it you know, is how people say, you know, you got bigger fish to fry. It's not on the level of the everyday American, you know. This is on the level of, you know, what, how does it say, Job 9:24, how the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. This is on the level of, you know, an oppressive life, wicked ways, you know, going all the way to the wicked elite. Just like back then, Moses, or the Lord told Moses to go directly to Pharaoh. You know, his words were against Pharaoh due to the oppression of the Israelites. All right, how we sigh and cry and how we give the Lord no rest, this is against the elite in today's time, which are Edomites, the modern day Pharaoh. All right, so in the same aspect, Esau is finna find out, just like Pharaoh found out, you cannot mess with Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah. All right, you can't do that. So yeah, in the same way Pharaoh, or how Pharaoh had to find out, Esau's next. Let me go back. Exodus chapter 13, no, so like Exodus 9 and verse 14 in the NLT. If you don't, I will send more plagues on you and your officials and your people. Everybody is getting affected, starting from the head to the top, man. You know, and this is a judgment, you know, that's pending that nobody can escape but the Lord's elect. All right. You know, Pharaoh didn't understand the Israelites' prayers were being heard, you know, in their captivity. All right. All along, while Pharaoh was still able to oppress them and make shit more vigorous for him. All right. Just like Esau ain't finna turn down, he turning up. You know, niggas turn up the closer they get to their downfall. And like it says in Revelation 12:12, Esau knows he got a short time. He knows that. This is known unto him. All right. But we serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, and this is finna be known, reintroduced, okay, by way of Yahweh Shah's return. Verse 14 again in the NLT, if you don't, I will send more plagues on you and your officials and your people. Then you will know that there is no one like me in all the earth. And that's important to know. And we're not ashamed to say that. The world can believe in Jesus. The world can worship Buddha or be into, what is that shit? Man, what is this? Islam, whatever. But soon all the earth will know that there's Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah and no other power. And his only begotten son is Yahweh Shah. That's finna be known. It says, but now I could have lifted my hand and struck you. It says, but now I could have lifted my hand and struck you and your people with a plague to wipe you off the face of the earth. And the Lord can do that easily. And that's like you could call that a threat, but it's not even, because the Lord really can do that. That is a threat, I'm going to say. That's a threat. I'm thinking about 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. How the Lord, hold on, does it say that? Let me see. Or is it the 16th chapter? I think it says something about the Lord shall threaten. Right here, 2nd Ezra 16. Let's start up. Hey, and it's cold too thinking about it, because right now we're reading about the plague of hell. I believe if you keep reading down, the Lord sent lightnings and thunderings with this plague, and it destroyed their asses. It hit them so hard like they ain't never got hit before. All right, just a build up, a build up before the Lord completely took you out of power. For the heathens, for these damn Egyptians, and that's how it's gonna be for the heathen today, especially these Edomites. These niggas are finna, be built up with their pride so high the Lord is finna come through and hit them so hard to be a public example forever. But let's keep reading. Verse 15, it says, but now I could have lifted my hand and struck you and your people with a plague to wipe you off the face of the earth. And the Lord could do whatever he chooses, man, that easily. You know, judging a nation like that, the Lord could do that easily, man. Just wipe your ass out. Oh, guess what? He will. The Lord literally will do that to one nation. Let's see. Future prophecy. The Lord said he could have did it to the Egyptians, but he spared them. You know, the Lord shows mercy unto all people, right? But you know one nation that won't get shown mercy to, because that's how the Lord set it up. We're about to read about it. And it's beautiful because this is the nation ruling in this current time before the Israelites come into power. So we are right at the door, bro. We're right at the door. Come on. All right, right here. This is Obadiah. Let's see, just straight to the point. Obadiah chapter 1 in verse, let's start at 17. It's all good. Obadiah 1 and 17, it says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. In the context, this is who it's talking about. And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah hath spoken it. And that's literal, how the Lord threatened over here in Exodus chapter 9 in verse 15 in the NLT. But now I could have lifted my hand and struck you and your people with a plague to wipe you off the face of the earth. Let's go to Obadiah 1 in verse 18 again. This ain't no threat. This is a future prophecy that is promised to happen. Verse 18, Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Hey, that's called whenever the time of recompense comes. The Lord is going to use the Israelites to do that. What is that? Ezekiel? Hold up. Let me see. Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12, it says, thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. That's how it's going to take place. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God. Back in Obadiah 1 and 18, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Esau for a stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. All right, so let's go back. Exodus chapter 9 and verse 16 in the NLT. It says, but I have spared you for a purpose. See, this is the reason why, the buildup. It says, but I have spared you for a purpose, to show you my power and to spread my fame throughout the earth. And we still talk about it till this day. All right. The Lord's words were sure. Whenever Moses said that to Pharaoh, whenever this was, uttered on the earth, it happened. That's how powerful the word of the Lord is. It happens, man. Those words were not in vain. They took effect, where they still are effective to this very day. Hold on. Let me see. Let me jump down. Let me see. Read to 18. It says, but it's, let me see. Verse 16 again. But I have spared you for a purpose, to show you my power and to spread my fame throughout the earth. but you still lord over my people and refuse to let them go. So tomorrow at this time I will send a hailstorm more devastating than any in all the history of Egypt. And that's on the forecast. That was on tomorrow's forecast. All right. And guess what? The future forecast of America, it is going to be utterly destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. That's coming. Okay? Whether you believe it or not, that's the times that are about to be present on this earth. And whenever the missiles are shot up, it's too late. It is too late if you do not know the Lord, bro. It tells you that in 2 Thessalonians. You could start at the first chapter in the 6th verse and read down. You know? It tells you that if you don't know the Lord, your ass is grass, man. There's no escaping that. It says, so just like Pharaoh was told, hey, you finna get hit tomorrow like never before. Today we telling Esau the same thing. America's finna get hit like never before. You Edomites are about to get hit like never before. You damn heathen are about to get hit like never before. Why? Because the Israelites are about to deliver them again. But the remnant this time. And Yahweh Shai is leading the charge, man. It says, quick. Now let me jump down. Hold up. For time's sake, I got to get up out of here. Shoot. Let me jump down to verse 22. It says, then the Lord said to Moses, lift your hand toward the sky, so hail may fall on the people, the livestock, and all the plants throughout the land of Egypt. So Moses lifted his staff toward the sky, and the Lord sent thunder and hail and lightning. And lightning flashed toward the east. Oh, Salaki, it says toward the earth. The Lord sent a tremendous hailstorm against all the land of Egypt. Never in all the history of Egypt had there been a storm like that, with such devastating hail and continuous lightning. It left all of Egypt in ruins. The hail struck down everything in the open field, people, animals, and plants alike. Even the trees were destroyed. The only place without hail was in the region of Goshen, where the people of Israel lived. And you know, that literally took place. The Lord messed that place up. But it's a part. I thought it said, oh, I did read it. You know, the Lord sent continuous lightning. I remember earlier, I was thinking about that, how it says in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, real quick, 16 and verse 8. It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 8. It says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? All right, could Pharaoh stop him? Nope. Could his magicians stop him? Nope. It says, verse 9, a fire shall go forth from his mouth, and who is he that may quench it? It says, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? And Pharaoh was one in line. You know, he's a main example that we use today. All right. But what's coming to America, verse 12, the earth quaketh in the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. And this is what, you know, this is the time where it's going to be no comparison, you know, to how the Lord, you know, delivered us out of ancient Egypt. All right. Whenever the foundations of this earth begin to shake and rock to and fro, do you know what's going to be used to do that? Whenever the missiles are released, and whenever the Lord comes back in his power and great glory with the angels, with the military of the heavens, the heavenly hosts, man. All right. And them chariots are war ready vehicles too. All right. The chariots of our salvation, which also nations get overthrown by force. All right? Just like how we got delivered out of the hands of the Egyptians, that was by force and divine intervention. You know, and it's going to be the same thing in the land of the north. But it says, verse 13, it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And that's talking about those missiles. All right? It's talking about World War III taking off and the missiles getting loosed. But, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Until America gets completely destroyed, the whole earth itself is not going to be consumed by fire. But 2 specific locations on this planet are going to be completely destroyed, and one of them will not be inhabited again. No longer inhabited by man, by man again. It will never be built up. The land of Israel is going to get hit and cleansed by fire, and America is going to get hit, all right, and destroyed to be a monument forever. But verse 16, it says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. And that's exactly what is in store concerning future prophecy. But hold on, let me see real quick. Hold up 1 second. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. All right, I just wanted to read that. Just going into Egypt, how it says modern day Egypt. This is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. America is going to get hit with these plagues, and, it's going to be destroyed. But as I was in Exodus earlier, it just made me think about how the Lord is going to do exactly, what he said he was going to do, to Egypt or to Pharaoh, and he did it. And the prophets are out here prophesying, just like the Lord, sent Moses and Aaron to prophesy against Pharaoh in Egypt. And look what happened. The same thing is happening right now. The prophets are back out prophesying against modern day Pharaoh, in modern day Egypt, which is America. But I went there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect. Till next time, Lord willing, I say shalom.